me, but Tita Bell already said, I think you want a good-looking speaker tonight. No, it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. But my dear brothers and sisters, it's really an honor, and this is truly a privilege. I want you to treat this talk just like a homily. So I always start my homily by saying, for my short homily, so this will be short, and I want us not to listen by our ears. I want us to listen using our hearts. Because tonight we will talk about this wonderful gift. I want to share to you this beautiful gift of volunteerism in the understanding of who we are as Filipino Americans. Brothers and sisters, I think all of us, many of us, growing up in the Philippines, when we think about being a volunteer, the thing that comes up to our mind is a person who works for free, a person who gives everything, a person who sacrifices everything without expecting anything in return. And so, I think you will agree with me, growing up, all of us, many of us, growing up as Catholics, the first person that comes to our mind, if we want to put an image of a person who gives all his time, a person who personifies what volunteerism is all about, I think, not, sa Tagalog, hindi naman sa pagbubuhat ng sariling bangko, I think a priest comes to our mind. A priest back in the Philippines. Why? Because we know a priest back in the Philippines, they don't have any salary, They are not being paid, But sometimes we think they're not paid. Why do they have nice cars sometimes? Why do they have money? I'll give you a secret. I know of a priest every Sunday night, he will collect all the money for collections. He'll put it in a big plate, and he will pray, and he will say, Lord, I'm going to throw all these collections. If you need anything, get them. Everything that will fall will be mine. No, I'm kidding, Stan. We're not doing that. But growing up, there is this one guy who gave up everything. Even his own happiness. And he's everywhere. We see him everywhere. Brothers and sisters, 2016. I had the honor and privilege to be given this humbling award that at first I was very hesitant to accept. The 2016 Filipino American Council of Northeast Florida Community Service Award. When the president told me, he said, Father Rafael, it was a unanimous decision. We are giving you the Community Service Award this year. I asked them, Tito, Uncle, why me? A lot of people deserve this more than me. And they said, you know what, Father? Because we see you everywhere. We see you everywhere. House blessing, you are there. Funerals, you are there. Baptism, we see you there. Weddings, you are there. Gatherings like this, fiesta, you are always present. And he said, Tito, I need to confess this. The reason why I'm going there, it's because of the food. Okay? But in all humility, that year, I accepted that award not because of the things that I did, but I think I accepted it because of the inspiration I can give to young people. That the God has given us a lot. That God has given us a heart that is so generous and it's overflowing of gifts that there's no reason for us to say no. And it's not only us priests. My dear brothers and sisters, it's not only us priests. Each and every one of you here, especially the volunteers, God has made a special heart for all of us. Brothers and sisters, not to make this long, I want us to give three understanding how Filipinos nowadays, like all of us Filipino Americans, understand being a volunteer. Okay? If you disagree, it's okay, If you have violent reactions, no problem, But I promise you, these three things that I will tell about being volunteer, I think all of us can relate. Number one, when we talk about being volunteer, before I say that, I think it's in our DNA. We want to help all the time. Remember, titos and titas, uncles and aunties, remember back in the Philippines, when we graduate kindergarten, what do we say? We stand up there and we say, when I grow up, I want to be. You still remember that? And then the reason why we're saying that is because always of service. Remember this classic example? Kindergarten graduation? All the kids, when I grow up, I want to be a policeman because I want to protect my neighbor. Everybody will clap their hands. Next kid, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor because I want to cure my neighbor. Everybody will clap their hands. When I grow up, I want to be a politician because I want to serve my neighbor. And you know the story, the last kid went up and he said, when I grow up, I want to be a neighbor. Because everybody is that's classic, come on. But we know that it is here. It is here. My dear brothers and sisters, I had the wonderful experience of learning the word volunteer first class, first time at home. And I want to say this. I learned the idea of volunteerism through my parents. We don't have the money to give, but for sure we have the talents to share and the time to sacrifice. My dad works as an auto mechanico. He fixes cars. And he makes it sure that all the priests in the rectory, their cars are always in good shape for free. Because that's the thing that my dad can give, to fix cars. My mom, 100% housewife. And she makes it sure that our church, even though it's so big, that when you go to Mass on Sunday, you will sit down on a very clean pew. You will be looking at a very clean altar. Because my mom will give a lot of time cleaning our house and cleaning the house of God, the church. And I saw it growing up, how my mom and dad, even though we don't have money to give, but we have the talents and the time to sacrifice. Brothers and sisters, forget everything that I will say. Please don't forget these three things. When we talk about volunteer in the understanding of a Filipino mindset, the first thing that comes to our mind is, I will spell this so you'll understand, voluntold. Okay? Voluntold. It's V-O-L-U-N and T-L-O-D. What is that in Tagalog? Isinasalang ka. Ito, magaling to. Siya na lang. How do you translate that in English? People will always be behind us, pushing us. You can do it. To the point that we will nominate people. Voluntold. Why attitude. Of course, we understand that attitude, you know. It is rooted in the fact that we Filipinos, I want to say this in Tagalog first, help me to translate this in English. Sigurista tayo. Sigurista. How do you translate that in English? Insurance? I'm sorry. This is the kind of attitude we're in. When we venture on something, we want to make it sure that we will succeed. That we will don't just volunteer. We know from our hearts, but we want some people to tell everyone that we are worthy. That's why we're being voluntold, you know? And when we are being voluntold, it's a fact that people will be behind us. Not pushing us to the cliff, but behind us, believing in us. Believing in us. Another thing, I'll say this in Tagalog first. When we are voluntold, at the back of our mind, we know meron tayong sisisihin. You know? We have someone to blame. You know? If we fail, and sabihin natin, ikaw kasi, binolunteer mo pa ako dito eh. Busy na nga ako. You know? But kidding aside, my dear brothers and sisters, it's not about blaming others. We want that feeling. We want that feeling that our peers will see our talents and the goodness in us. Not to say they have an idea how fat our bank accounts are. Your bank accounts are. That's why you're being voluntold. And here we are. Through our friends and our peers and the people who believe in us, yes, we will do this. Second thing, brothers and sisters, when we talk about being a volunteer, so the first is voluntold, you know? Second one is volunteers. Luha. E-E-A-R. Volunteer. You know. Why? Why the volunteer? Because we Filipinos, when we say, I'm doing it, yes, thank you. Thank you for giving me this chance. I will be there. What do? We give our 110% in everything. And we erase in our vocabulary failure. No. We, no matter what. In Tagalog, mabaon na ako sa utang. You know? Maubos man ang pera ko. Nakakahiya. How do you say that? Translated to those who want to know. But sweat and blood, we give everything we have, no matter what. Why? Because we don't settle for less. We want the best. You know, if Tita Lolita is mediocre about this legacy of care, if the many doctors here, if the many volunteers here, if we don't give our best, if we just do this like our pastime, our hobby, you know, do you think we're going to reach 12 years? Do you think we will reach the stage we're in? People believe in us, in the things that we do. I heard, believe me, I've been to all the hospitals here in the area. Baptist downtown, 4th floor, I call it PGH, Philippine General Hospital, because all the nurses are Filipinos. And I know the dedication of those who are working in the medical field. I know how wonderful our doctors and nurses are. And I'm sure we will never fail this. And we will continue. Because when we volunteer, we put tears in there. We sacrifice. We give everything. One day, I was I visited a sick parishioner at Mayo Clinic, and I was walking at the lobby, and somebody stopped me, a guy wearing a nice fancy jacket, and said, "Are you Father Rafael?" You know? And I said, "Yes, sir, I'm Father Rafael, I'm from St. Paul." And in that conversation, he was asking me, "Why are you here in the United States?" And he said, "I've been attending your Mass, and I don't know how to say this, but he told me that he heard a lot of priests, but every time he's listening to me, he feels that he's listening not to what I'm saying, but to what I'm doing." You know? And I was like, "Oh, sir, thank you very much for seeing that." You know? And all this, how do you say that? In Tagalog, like, sinabi niya na, "Ang galing-galing mo, Father, bukod sa gwapo ka na, hindi pa ako inaantok." You know? I don't know how to say that in English, though. But eventually, this guy, he was telling me all those things, and I told him, I told him I'm from the Philippines. I moved here in the United States, and I'm serving here in the Catholic Church, and one of the best things for us Filipinos is we're always ready, we're always open, and we don't think about our paycheck afterwards, but we're always on the moment. If you need us, we'll be there. It's always going the extra mile. You know? And after a few minutes of conversation, he pulled out his card, and he said, "Father, if you need anything, don't hesitate to give me a call." I went to my car, looked at the card, and Googled it. I Googled, and it's Dr. Faruja, the president of Mayo in the whole United States. And I was like, wow. I was like, oh, I need to text him and tell him my birthday is coming. I'm just kidding. But here's a guy who not only seeing me as a priest, but seeing the heart of all of us. The heart of all of us. Because, brothers and sisters, when we give something, as I said, we always put sweat and blood. We don't settle for less. We have this attitude of all in. And this one is beautiful. Even the non-Tagalog speakers, you will understand this. We have this saying that goes, "Bahala na." Bahala na. Napasubo na eh. Volunteer na ako dyan eh. Ano bang magagawa? Bahala na. Bahala na, I want to just dissect this a little. Bahala na is from the root word bathala. Bathala na. Bathala is the old Tagalog term for God. So when you say bathala na, when you say bahala na, it means God will take care. When people tells you bahala ka sa buhay mo, it means God will take care of you. So when you say bahala na, I'm putting my trust in God. All my sacrifices will be in Him. Understanding volunteerism in that way, we go to the next point, the last one, which is called. C-A-L-L-E-D. Called means you coming here, God called you to be here. It is your vocation, my dear brothers and sisters, that God gave everything that you need, whether it's money, finances, talents, time, or treasure. 100%. God gave you all the things that you need. and then now God is calling you to help. God is calling you to help. My dear brothers and sisters, as I go to the end of my talk, the only way we can fail in giving our time, talent, and treasure, the only way we can fail as volunteers is if we fail to acknowledge that God is calling us to do this work. If we think that it's our own volition, our own will, when we think that it's me, when we think that at the end of the day, our friends and our peers will validate us, no, it will not work. To all the volunteers here, God gave a very specific calling on you. And we know that there are people out there who needs us, And every day, we will answer the call of volunteerism in us. In the spirit of our being Filipino Americans, our community will always be behind us. We will not do it alone. And our community will continue to suffer and sacrifice, even with all the drama. Even with all the drama. Our sitting Aaron once mentioned to me, Father Rafael, don't worry. If there's no drama, that's not a Filipino community. That's why, even with all the drama around, little misunderstanding here, misunderstanding there, at the end of the day, we come together with faith in our hearts. God calling us to help one another. Brothers and sisters, in the spirit of the birth of the Nativity of Blessed Virgin Mary, many of you probably, and to conclude this, will understand this. When you were young, we always pray the Angelus, 6 in the evening or 6 in the morning. And probably some of you even prayed the Angelus in Latin. There is a part in the Angelus that says, Ecce Ancilia Domini, in the language of the Church, Latin. And we will answer, Fiat mihi secundum verbum tuum. In English, it says, Behold the handmaid of the Lord, our Blessed Virgin Mary. And the Blessed Virgin Mary said, Be it done to me according to your word. Fiat mihi secundum verbum tuum. When we say fiat, we can see that word in the prayer that Jesus Christ taught the disciples, the Our Father. Fiat voluntas tua. That fiat, that will, is next to the word voluntas, which is the origin of the word volunteer. Fiat voluntas tua, thy will be done. This is the will of God. My dear brothers and sisters, God called us to be here. We cannot say no. We cannot say no. When God calls us, it's because God has given us so much. And those things are overflowing. And all we can do is to share those gifts to others. I just became a U.S. citizen. I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago. Can I get a round of applause? Thank you very much. Our President Donald Trump gave me a call. I'm just kidding. But the question I was asked is, can you read this? And so I read it, and it says, we have 100 senators. Thank you, Father, you passed. It was an easy exam. But my dear brothers and sisters, the reason why I'm sharing this with you, it's because we're not only Filipinos here. I think we are all Americans and citizens of this great nation. And you know, it's really humbling with the presence of our great councilwoman Anna here, Judge here, and the many doctors and uncles and aunties and ninongs and ninangs here. I feel like the baby Jesus in the midst of the doctors of the church in the temple. You know, who am I? Who am I? But my dear brothers and sisters, at 42 years old, 13 years as a priest, especially nowadays, we're into a lot of difficulties, not only in the church in the United States of America, but the Catholic Church all over the world. Sometimes it's so hard for me to put on my collar in the morning. Sometimes it's so hard thinking of all those erring priests who made things that will make our stomachs turn. But no. This morning, I still decided to put on my collar. Because if not, I will not be here in front of you. And, I appreciate your applause, but I need some money for gas later. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But thank you. I'm here just like all of you. I am voluntold, and I'll continue to volunteer, give my heart, because I know I am voluntold that God called me. May God strengthen your hearts to continue to give. Let me end this. Dr. Rafael LaVilla, and one of my idols here, Dr. Patrick Bunyi, summarizes everything. Our legacy of care, volunteer provider, awardees for this year. Dr. Doroteo said, volunteering is a way of giving back to God for the talent to practice my medical profession and for good health. Back to God. Dr. Patrick said, I volunteer because I have been given so much to share. And I think it's not me. I think it's them. They deserve a round of applause. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. And I think we can get some for you.
Again, thank you, Father Rafael. Of the Oblates of St. Joseph, a wonderful religious order. As Father Rafael likes to say, you could sum it up in, we work silently active. But I'm glad he wasn't so silent. He was so wonderful. And I wasn't going to say how old he is, but he announced it, and it is confirmed that his birthday is in 3 days. So he is looking for presents, that's for sure. Coming up next, this is a special opportunity at this point, so we can actually hear personal testimonies of people who have received wonderful health and medical attention because of Legacy of Care. May Lau Thanga and Leanne please come forward, as well as Edgardo and Esther Treyas. Please share how Legacy of Care has made a difference.